on? Welcome into Laker Connections on WTOP10. After a long Thanksgiving break, we are back. I'm Zach Malamud.
And I'm Ryan Joyce, and I'm ready to get here rolling tonight. Zach, as winter sports is in full throttle.
It definitely is. Well, we have a lot to catch up on, so let's get right into it. Start us on the ice, Ryan.
And right into it indeed. Well, Zach, we moved to the Oswego men's ice hockey team where their Thanksgiving weekend was less than jolly for the squad. Coach Gosick and the squad participated in the Utica Thanksgiving Showcase, and the results were less than ideal with 2 losses to Elmira and St. John's University where they were outscored 11-3.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, Ryan, defensively, the Lakers were a flat-out disaster this weekend. And you look right here, Oswego lose to Elmira 7-1. They actually won the shots on goal battle, but the power play for Elmira really was on top of things in this game. 43-29, the Lakers won the face-off battle in both games against Elmira and St. John's, and then it was a little bit more even against St. John, and they really just ended up struggling to get the job done here. The face-offs won. They definitely battled it out and won that battle, but they had allowed 2 or more goals in just one of their first 7 games. They allowed double and triple that in these 2 games. They tried something new. Brendan Milberg comes in net versus Elmira, and it completely backfired. 3 goals on 13 shots. Probably the only positive thing for the Lakers is they can only go up from this horrendous weekend.
Yeah, I mean, for Oswego, not the best weekend overall. They get that upset from St. John's, and the first one, Elmira, really took over it again. In that first game against Elmira, it was really that early start from Elmira that really got it going. And in this one, Oswego made the pull. Milberg started this game. Shell came in, but he didn't do too much in that one, 4 goals and 9 shots for Shell overall. But I think it's really clearing the puck for Oswego. They've done a pretty good job. They've been winning the face-off battle, but overall clearing the puck, that neutral zone kind of play, really hasn't been great so far this year, and it's really hurt them overall as a team trying to win these games.
Definitely. Keeping things on the ice, the Oswego State women's hockey team had a tough weekend themselves in their annual doubleheader against Adrian College. The Lakers lost both games up in Michigan 2-1 on Friday and 1-0 on Saturday. The Lakers' lone goal went to junior Ashlyn McGrath, who leads the team with 5 goals in 9 games. Ryan, the Lakers kept it close, but it wasn't enough against the number 8 team in the nation.
And listen, for Oswego, you don't want to take the loss as a positive, but they played not too bad in this one. Defense has been great all year. I mean, they're a really good defensive team. That's been what Oswego's been doing all year. Both these games are really close, 2-1 Adrian in the first one. See 1-0 Adrian in the second one. It's kind of the same thing from the men's to the women's. Clearing the puck has not been great for Oswego. They had a lot of opportunities in this one. Only McGrath had more than 3 shots for Oswego overall on the weekend, so it's not like they're getting too many shots on goal. They might be playing good defense, but in terms of getting quality shots, really has not been there for Oswego. And Oswego had back-to-back power plays there in the third period, 13 shots on goal, but Michaela O'Brien was great all weekend, 49 saves the entire weekend.
Yeah, good and bad news for the Lakers from this weekend. Bad news, you went 0 for 11 on the power play. That basically diminished any chance you had to win either one of these games. The good news is you played against a top 10 team on the road who scored 3 or more in every single win this season. You held them to 3 goals combined on the weekend. Defensively, the Lakers have an argument as the best team in the SUNYAC right now.
And defense has been great so far, but just offensively got to get it going. But we're going to move into the Oswego men's basketball team continues their success with 2 big wins over Nazareth 79-68 and St. Lawrence 66-58. Both teams gave Oswego some trouble early, but the Lakers have done a good job regrouping and shutting down the opposition. They now move to 5-0 in the season and stay atop the D3 hoops poll. And now move to 5-3 in the season. They got to keep it going here, Zach.
Yeah, definitely. They definitely do. And Oswego at 5-0, sitting at number 6 in the nation right now. As for the Naz game, what a game for Jeremiah Sparks. Talk about taking this game into your own hands. 32 points, 10 rebounds, and played all 40 minutes in that one and in the St. Lawrence game. And in these games, free throws. It's so crucial. We talked about it with him the other day. He's 24 of 24, 100% from the line on the season. That comes down to big games, and you really have to make your free throws. St. Lawrence, in that St. Lawrence game, like the shots just weren't falling for the Lakers. Very similar, to Brockport last year. The difference is they found a way to pull it out. And you kind of need to do that. They were at home in this one just like last year, and they just found a way to squeak one out. St. Lawrence is a good team. They played well defensively. The Lakers are going to have those games, but like I said, they pulled that one out. That's huge for them.
Yeah, I mean, for Oswego, a lot of teams around D3 are really getting better. So Oswego, obviously one of the top teams in the country, but they got to, regroup and adapt. That first one, Jeremiah Sparks went off in that one. 30-plus points for him, 32 points, 10 rebounds. That won him the SUNYAC Player of the Week. That was big for him. And in that game overall, Jamal Achilles, 17 rebounds. Mentioned last year, a big crutch for Oswego in that game. Jonathan Park was really rebounding and playing great defense on down low block. And then in the game against St. Lawrence, Oswego didn't shoot the three ball well. They threw a lot of different things at him, 2-3 zones, 1-3-1. But Julian Crittenden, huge regroup for Oswego this season. Got it back and got a big win for Oswego, 2-0 in the past 2 games. Huge.
Definitely, Ryan. The women's basketball team continued their solid start to the season last Monday night when they battled Wells College in Aurora, New York. The Lakers dominated from start to finish with a 72-26 victory. Freshman Maya Brown had 12 points off the bench for Oswego as they moved to 3-2 on the year. Some of these non-conference wins will definitely give the Lakers confidence heading into SUNYAC play, Ryan.
No, and they played a great start to the year so far. I mean, they're a really young team. They're playing a lot of players out there. In this game, they were led by 2 young freshmen. I mean, last year, Logan Castiglione's still sticking around here for Oswego, but it's really the young players on this team making an impact. And they shot 27% from 3, which is huge for a team that's really been struggling from the three-point line the past couple seasons and this year. Really big for them overall, and they never shot below 35% from the field in all 4 quarters, and 22 second chance points off of 26 more rebounds than Wells. So they're being really dominant down low, and it's kind of led by their leading scorer, Giovanna White-Principio, kind of leading the way. And the young players from last year who played a lot last year are really getting better this year and kind of showing more leadership, even as young sophomores and juniors.
Yeah, definitely. And the biggest thing for Oswego is these runs that they go on. 28-6 after the first quarter against Alfred State, and then 25-6 in the second quarter against Wells. Really huge for them. They got the bench really going. We mentioned a couple of names there. 34 bench points in this game against Wells, and they dominated from the paint. From start to finish. I think looking at it, the rebounds, 56-30, and then 36-4 in points in the paint. Really just dominated this one completely in the paint. Wins like this also help Coach Pinkerton really see who he can rely on off the bench when we get into the tough games in SUNYAC play. They got a couple coming up, and they really need to look at this roster and see who's really going to help them out during those games.
Yeah, I mean, they have a really young team just trying to figure out kind of for the rest of the year, and they should have a few games coming forward. It's really going to show. Don't go anywhere, because when we come back, we will discuss where the basketball squads go from here, only on WTOP 10.
Say, President Stanley, whenever there's bad weather, who would you turn to?
I'd turn to Storm Team 10.
No,
right
but you've
here.
got to say it like this. Storm Team 10. Say it with me. Storm Team 10.
Roll it.
Jill
Should we
told me it
tell
was
him?
Kitty from Glee. Yeah, what is it?
Al Roker.
Welcome back to Laker Connections on WTOP 10.
Well, Zach, we have a lot of games coming up for the Hoop Squad this weekend that the fans should really look out for. Zach, how about you start off and tell them all about it?
Yeah, definitely. The number 6 ranked Oswego State men's basketball team gets their SUNYX season underway this Friday and Saturday with matchups against Potsdam and Plattsburgh on the calendar. The Lakers have won their last 4 against Potsdam and their last 6 against Plattsburgh. But if we've learned anything to start this season, they cannot take either of these teams lightly.
No, not at all. And I mean, Oswego's had a lot of close games here in the past, too. We highlighted there. But Potsdam 1-4 on the year, not off to a great start. Lost their first 4 of the year, but they got a big win against Kansas, 76-71 last Tuesday. They're not shooting great in the year. They let teams shoot 44% from the three-point line, so that should be a big thing there for Oswego. And then Potsdam also has Jeff Williamson, 30 points against Clarkson, kind of their lead guy there, and they have a couple guys around 10 points per game. And then Plattsburgh again have won 2 in a row after losing the first 3, so it's kind of close in the same way there as well as the Potsdam. Only 26% three-point shooting team in the year, so not great. Give up a lot of points, so for Oswego, they should really go on the offensive attack and kind of attack on this one overall. And Kevin Tabb coming back for Plattsburgh kind of hurt Oswego last year a little bit, so they gave up about 80 points to Plattsburgh last year, so kind of a big look for Oswego, kind of get 2 more here, keep that undefeated record going. Yeah,
and you see here that Potsdam and Plattsburgh really have struggled on the defensive end so far. I know we talk about they really can't take games easily, but I think this is a get-right weekend for Oswego. They've had a couple of games where it's been a little shaky. They've been a bit back and forth when it's relying on defense one game or relying on offense the other. I think it all comes together this weekend. They handle things on offense and defense. 2 teams under 500 struggling and have really struggled mightily on defense. I think the Lakers on the offensive end get their scores rolling. They struggled against St. Lawrence, and they'll kind of bounce back this weekend from that.
And I think it's kind of a game for Oswego to get off to a hot start early and figure it out. The women's basketball team will have 2 opponents in the MAC Zeal this weekend as they face familiar foes, SUNY Potsdam on Friday and SUNY Plattsburgh on Saturday. Oswego has 2 different results recently against both teams. They have struggled with Potsdam recently, but have found great success against SUNY Plattsburgh. For the Lakers this weekend, they want to win both in their first couple games here in the MAC Zeal.
Yeah, Ryan, 2 tough games here at Zeal this weekend. When we look at these 2 teams, they've been pretty strong to start this year. Potsdam 4-1. Scoring 59.4 points per game, allowing 58.4. And then for Plattsburgh, 3-2, scoring 65 points per game, a ton there in Division III women's basketball, and then 61.2 they're allowing. 2 tough games. Like I said, one thing it doesn't say here is the road record for both these teams. Potsdam 2-0, Plattsburgh 3-0. Both teams, it seems that they really play better and they come together on the road. Potsdam also on an 8-game win streak against the Lakers. The Lakers' last win against Potsdam was January of 2018, a very, very difficult matchup here for the Lakers.
Yeah, it's going to be really kind of what they're made of. We're going to see here 2 really quality opponents for Oswego facing. For Potsdam, Jakia Howard, far and away their best player, SUNYAC Player of the Week. They lost Diamond Hunter from last year, who was kind of the 2 tandem there. They really dominated last year here in the SUNYAC, and it's going to be a big game here for Oswego, kind of to figure it out. And then the other side, Plattsburgh, 3-2 in the year, 16-point victory versus Utica. So they're coming off kind of a good, stretch there against Utica. Julia Greek, a freshman, 48% from the three-point line. So a lot of teams that Oswego play have not been good from behind the arc, but they've been pretty solid all year. Julia Greek's altogether, and then Amani Walcott, a very efficient, shooting over 50% from the field, and it's kind of been their lead defensive player. So she's going to guard Oswego's best player and really kind of figure it out for Oswego. But that'll do it for the Zeal Zip. But when we come back, we will throw on our skates and zoom into some Oswego hockey with a fan favorite wheelhouse warrior only seen here on WTOP 10.
Kids worry about a lot of things. Getting enough food to eat shouldn't be one of them. Through a nationwide network of food banks, Feeding America serves virtually every community in the United States. See how you can help your community. Visit feedingamerica.org.
Did you know dragging chains can spark a wildfire?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
with sports and news and what to do. We're here for you. It's your TV, you're watching WTLP. Your TV, thanks for watching WTLP.
La 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 la. Free. La 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 la. La 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 la. Freeze.
Welcome back to Laker Connections. We've got our skates on. Well, not literally, but it's time for the Wheelhouse Wire. Ryan, take it away.
It's about that time to get it over. We start things off Friday up in North Country as the men's team squares off with SUNYAC foe Potsdam Bears, who find themselves in dead last in SUNYAC and only 0 points in the season. If any time was a time to get a dub for Oswego, it would be now for this team.
Yeah, definitely, Ryan. And we look at this graphic here, and Oswego, yes, it was a rough weekend for them, but they're still at 5-4, 4-1 in conference. 3.1 goals per game, now up to 2.9 goals allowed per game. But Potsdam really struggling. 1-7, 2.4 goals per game, 4.3 goals allowed per game. And that's a positive sign for the Lakers. Similar to the basketball team, it's a get-right game for this men's hockey team. Potsdam, like I said, they've really struggled to start this year. Get things going defensively here, get the offense scoring, and give yourself some confidence going into Saturday's game. Potsdam have allowed 3 or more goals in every loss this season, so it's a chance for the Lakers offense to start rolling.
Yeah, definitely get it back game here for Oswego. I mean, that loss to St. John's last week was hard for Oswego to take. This is a good chance. I mean, I mentioned Oswego, good chance to get that groove back, offensive groove. Defensively hasn't been great, but kind of getting that offensive rhythm is going to be huge for Oswego overall. And then Potsdam as a team have only allowed 3+. They've allowed 3+ goals in 7 games so far this season. So they've been giving up a lot of goals. So for Oswego, you've got some good opportunities in those 2 games in that tournament to kind of get some, goals on the board and get quality shots. But they really just couldn't get it off. And this is going to be one for Oswego to kind of get after it. But for the other side, Jack Loran there for Potsdam has been huge so far. Been great of late. 2 goals versus Plattsburgh and then 1 versus Canton.
Definitely, Ryan. After the Lakers take on Potsdam, they'll travel even further down Route 11 for their toughest test of the season. They'll take on their biggest rival and the #1 ranked Plattsburgh State Cardinals. Plattsburgh are red hot to start the year, sitting at 8-0. But the positive for the Lakers, they've lost just 2 of their last 7 visiting Stafford Ice Arena. Ryan, what's it going to take for the Lakers to come out with the win?
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one here for Oswego. 8-0 is what Plattsburgh stands at right now. 4 goals a game. They allow under 2 goals a game overall. They're a great team. Obviously one of the top teams in the country. The thing about Plattsburgh, they got a good mix of young and old guys. I mean, Bennett Stockdale, their leading player, 3 points in the tournament win last week and 2 goals in their first game, and then had the assist to their SUNYAC Rookie of the Week. He's won 3 SUNYAC Rookies of the Week already, Tio Diodario, and Bennett Stockdale gave the assist to Teodario in that one as well. So they've been great so far this year. Very good in the power play. Oswego hasn't been great in the power play. So for Oswego, defensively haven't been great on the power play kind of kills. So they got to be really on their, ready to go for this game against the top team in the country. Even though they've had success early against them and last year, they got to figure it out.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing on this graphic here is the 1.5 goals allowed per game. Plattsburgh have been really strong defensively and goaltending-wise. I think the Lakers need to recreate that and be strong on defense. It was a tough weekend for them. Plattsburgh is 6-0 at home this season, 4-0 in conference. None of that matters, though. It's a rivalry game. It just comes down to who wants it more. And the Lakers, if they have the talent to definitely make some noise in Plattsburgh this weekend. It
should be a good one, a big one for Oswego to kind of regroup everything. On the other hand, the women's team will be on the road Friday versus the Potsdam Bears for an early one at 3 p.m. In this case, the Lakers and the Bears find themselves as both middle-of-the-pack teams, with Oswego at 4-3-1 and Potsdam at 3-4. For the look of it, it'll be a big one for the Lakers to rebound after 2 losses to Adrian last week.
Yeah, Ryan, and looking at it here, Potsdam just a little bit lower than Oswego right now, 3-4, but the 1-3 in the SUNYAC conference right now, 1.9 goals per game. versus 2.4 goals allowed per game. Oswego with 2.2 goals per game. We need to see that number boost up a little bit. 1.1 goals allowed per game. That's great for the Lakers, sitting at 4-4-1 and 2-2-1 in conference. Like I said, we said it before. It's all about goals for Oswego. They took 2 of 3 against Potsdam last year. Most recent, a 5-0 road win in February. Find some goals here, especially on the power play that really struggled, and continue to be strong defensively. We've seen this team put up plenty of goals in the past. Bounces just have not gone their way so far.
No, not at all. And this is another get-back game kind of for Oswego overall. Defensively been great so far this season, but in terms of the power play for Potsdam, they're 4-31 in the year. They're not great in the power play overall, and penalty minutes have killed them. 81 minutes in penalties so far this season. So for Oswego, you really have to go on that power play and kind of attack overall. I mentioned in the couple blocks back that a couple players for Oswego have not been able to get a lot of shots up on goal. So it hasn't been great, and going to be a game for Oswego to kind of figure it out. Coming up, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, Mr. Matt Sharamita is in the building for Lakers Showdown.
Welcome back to Major Discussions.
Did you know dragging chains can spark a wildfire?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Hey there, I'm Al Roker, class of 76. Yes, way back in 76. Back when the earth was cooling. You're watching WTOP.
Welcome back to Laker Connections. I'm your moderator, Matt Sharamita, and it's time for everyone's favorite segment, Laker Showdown. And just a quick reminder on how things work. In case you forgot because of the long break, these two yell, I pick a winner. Let's get started, shall we? First question. The women's basketball team starts off SUNYAC play tomorrow against Potsdam, a team that has usually had their number completely, as the Lakers have fallen 8 in a row to the Big Bad Bears. What has been the Lakers' biggest downfall in their recent history against Potsdam? Ryan, you won the non-league Lakers Showdown. We'll start with you.
I guess that's what we're calling it. I mean, Hockey Night Oswego. But for Oswego, so far in their history, it's really been having a lot of young players. They graduated a lot of older players, a lot of senior leaders a couple years ago. It's been a lot of young players so far. Sydney Host and Giovanni White-Precipio, two that come to mind. Last year, they were young players that had to come in and kind of make an impact. And now they're getting older now. So I expected a win for Oswego coming up because they played a lot of minutes. But last year and the year before that, they've had a lot of young players having to step in when they haven't had kind of the older leadership. It's been a young team that Coach Pinkerton's recruited in the past couple of years.
That's fair, I think, but looking at the games against Potsdam specifically, it's been the turnovers. They had a season-high 29 of them the last time they played. That was last year at Max Zeal. Same matchup here this weekend. The turnovers really, really hurt Oswego last year. They need to step up and win the turnover battle, or else Potsdam's going to run away with this one. They did that last year. They won by 27 in the end. So the Lakers cannot turn the ball over. Be smart with it, and that'll win them this game.
But I think that's kind of due to having a lot of young players on your team. I mean, they make a lot of mistakes. If you're playing your first couple games in D3 college basketball, you're not going to be great off from the start. You have 4 years to play here, and you're going to get better every year and year. So last year against them, they had a lot of young players play, a lot of players that were older that got injured for Oswego last year, so they really had to step up. And when you're young, you're going to make the mistakes, but coming up in this one, they shouldn't make those same mistakes and get a win.
I think the Lakers do have experience, so that could help them in the end, though, besides those young players.
I agree with the inexperience part. Slightly, like they're a younger team. But Potsdam specifically, I do really agree with the turnovers. We're going to go Zach with this one. I think that really killed them in the last couple matchups with Potsdam. We'll move on to question 2. Another team that has had recent struggles is the men's hockey team, who have lost 3 straight games after their red-hot start to the season. With big SUNYAC games on the road against Potsdam and the rival Plattsburgh State Cardinals, what is going to be the biggest key to steer the ship back on course? We'll go with you in this one, Zach.
Yeah, this one's a tough one because you could go either way, but I'm going with the defense here, and I think the defense is the biggest thing for Oswego after a weekend where they let up 11 goals combined in 2 games. That's not what Oswego would have wanted, and obviously they lost a couple of really key players last year in Bunka and Robillard, 2 leaders on defense. That's going to hurt them in the long run right now as it looks, because they just cannot control opposing team offenses. Yes, the Lakers are struggling themselves when it comes to scoring, but the defense, it all starts from there. Give your team a chance to be in the game and don't let up a ton of goals. Goaltending, defense, all the same thing there.
Yeah, I mean, defense is very important, but offensively, they're just not getting themselves a chance. I mean, they're giving up a decent amount of goals, but it's just they haven't really been able to put in 3 really good periods of hockey so far. I mean, look at the St. John's game. You had Tyler Flack and Connor Sleeth. They really didn't. They had 2 goals early in that one, but they really couldn't put it together. They had a 2-0 lead, but overall in the 3 periods just couldn't put together. And if you're not getting shots in the goal or not even getting a good attempts on goal, you're not going to put yourself in a good position to win. So a lot of these games, yes, they give up a lot of goals, but it's because offensively they just haven't really put together 3 good periods of hockey so far. And they're not in cohesion. Shane Bull had a great start to the year, but so far as an offense, just haven't been flowing the way they want to. And it's going to be huge in a weekend coming up.
Defense wins championship game this weekend. This is literally could be the SUNYAC championship right here.
And you're going to have to score against a really good defense to get that taken care of.
I kind of agree. I think against, especially when you look towards Plattsburgh, 1.5 goals allowed per game. You got to score in that game. I think that's going to be the biggest thing in steering the ship back the right way. You saw the red hot start in the season with the offense. I think they need to turn it back up a notch. I'm going with Ryan. 1-1 game. Here we go. The last question. With the first snowfall hitting earlier on in the week, the infamous Oswego winter filled with beautiful muddy snow, relaxing 70-mile-per-hour gusts of wind, and hail pelting people in the face at all angles. It's finally here. And the one nice thing about the Oswego weather, snow days. So I got to ask you guys, what is your ideal outdoor snow day activity? Ryan, coming right to you.
Oh my God, man, I'm so excited. What you do on a snow day, you put on your snow pants, you put on your boots, and you're ready to go. You get your hat on, you play some snow football. You get out there, I throw some dimes to me. I'm a great receiver in the end zone. Some call me Justin Jefferson of Oswego, New York. I've heard some people say that, but what else can you do? I mean, yes, you mentioned the wind. Sometimes when the ball in the wind, you're throwing it and it's spinning around, you got to go after the football. And me, personally, I'm a great receiver. And this has kind of turned into me becoming a great football player, which I am. But in terms of getting out there and playing, snow football, it's so fun. Get all your friends out there, enjoy the nice weather, and, throw on as many layers as you want and just tackle somebody.
Is this just bragging about Ryan right now? It's going to be, for me, sledding, because you can't sled if it's not snowing.
Wow.
You can
generic pick.
Wait. You can play football at any time in the year, but when it's snowing out, yes, it's different, but you can't sled unless it's snowing.
Come on, man. Snow football and real football is a totally different thing. It's totally different conditions. You got to step in a bunch of snow, and you might not be as fast, but you got to be agile and make the plays, and that's what we got to do.
You could still play football, though. Sledding, by far, so much fun. Going like belly flop downhill. Unbelievable experience. I shout out to the Matlin Hill back home. Unbelievable. Going to be a fun time. I hope that it's snowing on Long Island. It only snows like twice a year, so that's it.
I don't know, man. I mean, snow football.
Sledding.
You tackle someone in the snow. Unbelievable feeling.
It's sledding.
Listen, when I look out my window at Fennell at night, all I see is these people sledding down the hill.
Yeah.
Sledding. I don't see any snow. I don't see any snow football out there.
Is that a 5-3 on the year?
Everybody sleds.
5-3?
Snow
Great
football
activity.
is fantastic.
I'm getting ready for a championship right here.
Oh, my God.
Unreal.
Are you kidding me, man? All right. Thanks for watching this episode of Laker Connections and listening to me and Zach yap tonight. I should have got the win. We're not going to say anything else about that. But have a good night, everyone. We will see you next time for Laker Connections on WTOP 10.